92.9 The Lake, playing the greatest hits of all time. And speaking of time, it is time for us to be joined by Mr. Howie Mandel. Mr. Mandel, thank you so much for your time, man.
Right, it is that time. It's that time to be joined by me. I love this time. And I love being joined.
That's right.
I hope everybody joins me tonight.
Yes, you're going to be at the Golden Nugget Grand Event Center, 8:30 p.m. Be there or be square. Let's start off in the beginnings of your career, man. Started off in the comedy clubs of Toronto. And how crucial was St. Elsewhere for your career?
Everything is like a bit of a stepping stone. St. Elsewhere was not crucial for my stand-up career. Before I did St. Elsewhere, I already did a young comedian special on HBO, which kind of catapulted me into at least being able to make a living as a stand-up comic. I was on a young comedian special. It was me, Jerry Seinfeld, Richard Lewis, Harry Anderson, and the Smothers Brothers hosted it, and we were all the young comics. So, and then once that aired, I got, I started selling tickets and getting booked, and then that was, a couple years later. Then in 1982, I got St. Elsewhere. So St. Elsewhere kind of legitimized me as an actor, and people started hiring me for things, and I did a couple of films, and I got into voiceover, and I did that. I did the Muppet Babies, and I was Gizmo, and in Gremlins, and I had a career doing that. I had this fractured career of many different things, and then lo and behold, later on in my life, I became a game show host on Deal or Don't Deal. Now I'm a judge on AGT. But the one thing that runs through all those different jobs is I never stop doing stand-up. Stand-up is my favorite thing. Stand-up is my primal scream at the end of the day. Stand-up is the thing that I long to do each and every day without any restrictions, no editing, no lines to recite, no commercials to throw to. So if you come out tonight, you're going to have a really good time. And if you don't come out tonight, I won't have a really good time. Because when I'm alone in the room and there's nobody there, it just doesn't play as well.
I can tell you from firsthand, people are excited. We've been giving away tickets all week long. People are pumped up about some Howie Mandel here in the Chuck.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'm pumped up to be there.
Now, let me ask you this. Speaking about growing up around the Toronto area, and look, I've been burned by Wikipedia before, so I hope to God this is true. Were you expelled from high school for impersonating a school official and hiring a construction company to build an addition to your high school?
Well, Wikipedia was right this time.
Yes!
Yeah, do you win? I don't have the authority to move you into a bonus round, even if that is a correct answer. It is a correct answer. And you had the answer. Am I supposed to come up with a question? Are we playing Jeopardy?
No.
I don't really understand. Yes, it is correct. I hired a company to put, not to actually build it, to give estimates. But you don't have the right to do that, I was told. And they called my parents in and explained to my parents. It was just fun to watch my parents try to hold back their laughter while it was explained to them that their son had hired contractors to put an addition onto the library.
That is awesome that your parents were cool about that.
Say, we told him never to do that.
Now, you kind of highlighted Gremlins, one of my favorite movies back in the 80s, back in 1984. And you play Gizmo, and I've seen you on several interviews, and you've said that you've never considered yourself a voice actor, but the Gizmo voice is like timeless. How did you come up with that?
Choking on a piece of cake at a birthday party.
I saw that too. I was going to ask you that.
I think a lot of work went into it, but that's how I came up with that. It's a lot of my voices are the same voice. If people remember Bobby, Gizmo, and I was also Skeeter on the Muppet Babies. If you go get tapes of all those, it's the exact same voice. I hate to throw a wrench into people thinking I have a plethora of talent there. I have one sound. And it's a young man choking on a piece of cake.
Well, I mean, it's just like baseball. If you got the heat, all you need to throw is fastballs.
That's what you know how many times a day I say that?
Really?
No, never. I've never said it, but I just wanted to know if you knew that I never said it.
Wait, you can steal it if you want to.
Thank you. I'm going to make up T-shirts.
There you go. Now, speaking of Gremlins, you were there with a heavyweight in the voice, in the character voice actor, talent field with Frank Welker. How cool was that working with him?
Well, Frank Welker was a really good friend. We were friends. He's got me the job, actually. So he's the one that put me in the voiceover business. Frank Welker and I started on a series called Laugh Track. So we were doing before St. Elsewhere and before like an early show. So we were all, it was Frank Welker, Jim Stahl, and Jim Fisher. We were all on that show, and Gail Mathias, who ended up playing Mom in Bobby's World, and Jim Stahl was the co-creator and writer of Bobby's World, and Jim Fisher. So we all worked together and got each other work, and tried every time we had an opportunity, we tried to bring our friends into it. So Frank brought me into the voice business.
Right. We're talking with Howie Mandel. He's going to be at the Golden Nugget tonight, 8:30 p.m. A link to grab tickets at our website, 929thelake.com. You also talked about Deal or No Deal. And from what I'm reading, back in 2003, you were thinking about quitting the show business.
I was, and then I got a call to do a game show, which I thought at that time, if you can transport yourself back to that time, comedians were not game show hosts. So that was almost it was embarrassing that I got offered that. And I said no 3 times. And then my wife, who said I'm annoying to live with, get out of the house, made me do it. And it's the best deal I ever took. In fact, that was the first thing that that's probably the biggest thing I've done, because I had a separate audience from stand-up, a separate audience from acting, a separate audience from Bobby's World. And when I did Deal or No Deal, it brought them all together. So, and it was the biggest audience I ever had. So and then after that, the next show with Jeff Foxworthy was offered, Are You Smarter? And then Louis Anderson was given Family Feud, and it ended up being Steve Harvey. And now comedians are hosting every game show. So you're welcome.
Trendsetter. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right. So your show is at the Nugget tonight. What can people expect?
I don't know. I'm going to surprise myself. So,
impromptu.
You can expect me. Obviously, I just look at it like a giant party, and I'm just trying to be the center of attention. I look at it as a place to escape for a little while and get away from whatever is rough and not funny in life, and just a couple of hours of silliness and escapism. And it's very interactive. The audience is very much part of it. Obviously, after 40 years, I have a lot of material and things to draw from, and I will. But if I'm taken off that path and I can do something, whether something unique that happens in the room that makes that night different and special than any other night, that's what I'm going to do. And I know tonight is going to be unique, and it's going to be special, and you're going to see things and hear things you've never seen or heard before. Don't bring the kids.
Right. Most definitely. Howie Mandel live tonight, 8:30 p.m. at the Grand Event Center at the Golden Nugget. Now, Southwest Louisiana and Louisiana as a whole, we're known for our cuisine. What's your go-to dish when you come down to Louisiana?
I just love water. I love water. I love a tall glass of water, and I can't wait to have one.
It's a safe bet. Maybe we can throw some Tony Chachere's in the water. Spice it up a little bit.
Okay.
Some Tabasco, maybe.
I have no idea what that is, but I would love that.
There we go.
All right.
HowieMandel.com is where you can check him out. Other tour dates there, as well as it says that you have a comedy special available online.
I do. Go check it out.
All right, 8:30 tonight, Howie Mandel live at the Golden Nugget, Grand Event Center. Tickets for sale. You can purchase them at 929thelake.com. Mr. Mandel, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you tonight.
I look forward to being there. Bye-bye. I'm on my way. Bye-bye.